Hello, IASA members. This is John Gatta, CEO of ECRA Group. It's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you, Dawn and Bill, for being flexible to allow me to pipe in virtually here today to be part of your learning experience, empowering Illinois schools to thrive in the age of AI. I wanted to talk a little bit today about an exciting new partnership that ECRA has with IASA. Many of you have known ECRA Group over the years as a partner of IASA, going as far back as supporting the work of Vision 2020 and then the work of Vision 2030. I'm excited to announce that we have expanded that partnership now to include supporting districts as they move their AI initiatives forward. And so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what that program entails, what the partnership entails, and how you might think about getting started on your journey towards implementing AI. I'd like to start this conversation by first thinking about the larger role that data and documents play within the age of AI. Forever, as educators, we've been thinking about the data sets that we create, the documents that we write, the resources that we provide. We've been thinking about that through the lens of we need to write or create these documents so that humans or our colleagues can ultimately interface with them. And I think the insight that is now changing in the age of AI is that the documents that we create, right, the data sets that we create really are playing a different role now. The role that they're playing is to train models. And then it's ultimately the models that we as school leaders will interface with in the future. And you've been used to this in your experience with ChatGPT or other kinds of AI models that are now becoming more mainstream. But the cultural shift that has to happen within organizations is to fundamentally rethink why and who the audience is for the documentation that you're creating. And so I think over time, we end up in a scenario in which all of the data sets, all of the documents, everything that we create within a school system trains models. And then those models are interfaced with by all the different school leaders and stakeholders within an organization. And so we will no longer, as educators, work directly with documents or directly with data sets. We will interface with the models that have been trained from those data sets. In doing so, you can imagine a future in which you have an expert that knows everything about your local school district. Whether you're asking it a question about your collective bargaining agreements, whether you're asking it a question about a policy or a board action, whether a parent is asking what the lunch schedule is for the next week. You can envision a world in which all of those questions are simply put to an AI assistant that has been trained by all of the information of the district. And so you have this virtual assistant of sorts that's able to answer almost any question about the school district because it's being continually trained on everything that is relevant about the school system. And so it's really an exciting future, and it's really a way that's going to streamline operations in a very meaningful way and make all of us more efficient and effective. So how does all this relate to the IASA and ECRA Group partnership? Well, the partnership is really designed to help school districts move these initiatives forward by doing something very specific, and that's to launch an AI assistant to support leadership and improve operational efficiency. So the thing to note here is the partnership is not meant to tackle all of the possible use cases that you might think of within a school system. It's really focused on leaders, and it's focused on creating what are called AI assistants to support leadership and improve operational efficiency. So what does that look like? Well, here are 4 examples of AI assistants that ECRA is currently working with school districts to develop and implement. And I think this helps get you an idea as to what's possible and just to get your brain thinking about the ways that you might leverage this technology. So in one of the areas is around board actions and policy. And so a lot within school system is governed by not only the school code or state and national policy, but local policy. And when you think about all of the times within a school setting that you as a leader or one of your leaders within the school system asks questions about what the board policy is, or actions that the Board of Education has taken, or things that relate to past meetings, meetings agenda, meeting minutes. Think about being able to take all of that information and train an AI assistant. And then if you have questions such as, when is the last time that we presented the homework policy to the Board of Education? Or what is the board policy on handling certain kinds of events? Or when is the last time that we presented our dual language program outcomes to the Board of Education, and what it was in that presentation and what were the findings? You can consider taking all of the information that relates to board policy, board actions, policies, procedures, sort of the rules of the road of the school district, and encoding that into an AI assistant. And then whenever you or any of your leaders within the school district has questions, conversing with that AI assistant. Another great example is human resources. So human resources departments create lots of documentation, and the human resources administration is governed by lots of federal, state, and local policies. And so think about if an AI assistant knew everything there is to know about your collective bargaining agreements. It knows everything about board policy. It's an expert in FMLA. It knows exactly what benefits you're offering to employees. And when employees have questions about their benefits or whether certain actions would be consistent or not consistent with a collective bargaining agreement, they could simply converse with the AI to get those answers. From a curriculum standpoint, you could think about a district course and pathways expert. This is particularly relevant at the high school level, where there are course catalogs, there are prerequisites for courses, there are courses that are offered over the summer, first semester courses, second semester courses, there are pathways, there are career goals, service learning opportunities. What if you trained an AI assistant on all of that information so that students, parents, teachers, counselors could converse with an AI assistant and help them build a 4-year plan for individual students? And lastly, I think a great example is a parent concierge. Parents have a wide range of information needs as they help sort of navigate their child's experience with the local school district. So things as simple as what is this week's lunch menu, to when is the next JV volleyball game, to policies, procedures, and things that interrelate with some of the other AI assistants. Imagine being able to consolidate all of the information that's relative to parents, train an AI assistant, and then give parents immediate access to that information through conversational interfaces that we call AI assistants. And these are just a few examples that we're currently working on with local school districts. We've had lots of different ideas for how to implement this technology, from maintenance departments training it on all of the different schedules of maintenance throughout the districts, to athletic directors being able to create assistants that are expert in sports schedules and IHSA rules, and so on and so forth. So you would consider this as a way to just make information more readily accessible to school leaders in a just-in-time approach. So now that we have an understanding as to how this type of technology can help you as a school leader, let's now dive into the actual technology and use it in a way that you can start to see the relationship between the technology and how you might utilize this within your district. As part of our partnership with IASA, ECRA has gone ahead and built 2 AI assistants that demonstrate the power of the technology, make it easier for you to make the connections from this technology to some of the work you're doing locally, but also provide a valuable tool to help you better understand what's happening at a state level. And so the 2 assistants that ECRA Group built is one for Vision 2030 and one related to the Illinois School Code. So the AI assistant for Vision 2030 can help answer any and all questions that you may have about the Vision 2030 initiative, policies that are within the document, and the ways in which IASA is advocating for certain kinds of policies. The Illinois School Code AI assistant has been trained by the entirety of the Illinois School Code. So you could think about using this every time you have a question about what's in the school code or what does the school code say about X, Y, and Z. And instead of trying to sort of dig through documents or dig through search results, you could simply converse with the AI assistant developed by Ecker Group to help you answer certain kinds of questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the technology. And for the demonstration, I'm going to use the Illinois School Code AI Assistant. So let's go ahead and take a look. So what you see here is an interface that is not unfamiliar to you for those of you that use ChatGPT or other kinds of interfaces, although this is a technology that's been proprietary built from Ecker Group. And so this has been trained by the entirety of the Illinois School Code. And so I'm going to go ahead and just ask it one of the pre-slotted questions in terms of that you might be interested in asking about the Illinois School Code. And so I asked it, what is the process to issue new bonds for school improvement projects? And so remember, this is an AI that has been built by the entirety of the school code. It knows everything about the school code. And so as you can see on the screen, it can provide a very direct answer and succinct answer to that question. And it will even cite the references that it used related to the school code if you wanted to go dig a little bit deeper. And so maybe we can ask a follow-up question related to the school code, such as what are graduation requirements from high school? Again, the AI assistant knows everything about the Illinois School Code, so it can go and take that question, think about it for a few seconds, and it can come back with a very succinct answer in terms of what the Illinois School Code says about graduation requirements in Illinois. And so you can see that it gives a nice, straightforward, factual, correct answer, and it even cites its sources. And so what I wanted you to get out of this demonstration is a connection to how you might use this technology within your school district. And to try out these AI assistants for yourself, if you're interested in the Vision 2030 AI assistant, you can go to IllinoisVision2030.com and you'll see right on the homepage there, Ask the AI Assistant. And if you're interested in conversing with the Illinois School Code, you can simply go to eckergroup.com/IL School Code. Now, there's one other interesting feature that we built into this technology that might be useful for you, both to interface with the assistants that we've just talked about here, the Vision 2030 and Illinois School Code assistant, but also as you think about ways that you might leverage this technology within your school district. What we have learned is that school administrators often live within their email systems. And so one of the things that we've gone ahead and did was we've connected these AI assistants and given them an email address like any other person would have an email address. So yes, you can access the online interfaces, or you can log into the system if you're protecting access to certain assistants, but you can also simply email them. And so another way that you can converse with the Vision 2030 assistant is just to send an email to vision2030@eckergroup.ai, ask it your question, and you will get an email response back, and then you can just converse over email like you do with a standard conversation. That is also true of the Illinois School Code AI assistant. Instead of going to the online interface, you can simply write an email to ilschoolcode@eckergroup.ai, ask the question, and you will get a response back. I hope that short demonstration gave you a little bit of a flavor for how this technology might be useful to you locally as you think about making information more accessible to school leaders. And so I want to end the session by getting you to think a little bit about how should your district get started. And so when you think about the different ways that you might advance AI initiatives, and specifically how you might leverage some of the technology you've seen here today to support school leaders, I want you to think about where to start with two main ideas. Think about where would it be really impactful, right, if we had an AI assistant. So think about areas in which you're constantly being asked a set of questions related to an area that if you built an AI assistant would make things much more efficient, much more effective, and just make it much more available in terms of information to those that need it. But at the same time, I want you to think about what are the areas not only that would be impactful, but that your existing documentation is mature enough in which you could take it and train AIs. One of the misconceptions about training AI assistants is that you can simply take all of your existing documents and just dump them in and then expect the AI to figure everything out. AI is not unlike the human brain in that if your documentation is poorly written, if it's vague, if there are inconsistencies between sources, it will have a difficult time reasoning about the content of those documents. And so where I always tell school districts it's a good place to start is thinking not only where would it have a big impact, but where can you start where there's sufficient documentation and there's been a vetting process for that documentation. And so of all the examples I've given, in our experience, the easiest one to get off the ground is board policy and board actions because of how well documented board policy is and how well documented both from a meeting agenda standpoint and meeting minute standpoint. It makes it a much more forward process to implement an AI assistant in that area. I hope you found this short presentation helpful and that you learned a little bit about how the expanded IASA ECRA Group partnership can help support you as you think about advancing AI initiatives within your district. If you have any questions related to this presentation or you'd like to learn more about how your district could leverage the IASA ECRA Group partnership to build AI assistance for your local school district, email me anytime at johngatta@ecragroup.com. And so thank you, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to present here today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your session. Take care.